Today, we're going to break down why so many brands are just struggling with their SEO, even when they feel like they're doing everything by the book. Turns out, the problem might be that your strategy is springing leaks from 4 very specific and kind of new places. So let's just dive right in with a question I think a lot of us are asking. You're putting in all the work, right? The content, the keywords, all of it. And yet, the results just aren't there. You feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill, and the needle just isn't moving. What's the deal? Well, the analysis we're looking at today has a pretty bold claim. It says that your SEO problems aren't some big mystery. They're not random. In fact, every single failure can be diagnosed and traced back to one of 4 critical areas.
So let's get into these 4 categories. A great way to think about them is as 4 major leaks in your SEO ship. If you feel like your results are constantly draining away, it's almost a guarantee that one or maybe even all of these pillars has a crack in it.
All right, leak number 1 is GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. And this is a completely new game. We're not talking about ranking number 1 on a Google page anymore. We're talking about being the brand that an AI, like ChatGPT, actually quotes and mentions directly in its answer. And the consequence of ignoring this? It's pretty brutal. If you're not optimizing for GEO, you're basically invisible to this huge new wave of search. The AI will just cite your competitor, and you're just left out of the entire conversation.
Leak number 2 builds right on top of that. AEO, Answer Engine Optimization. This is all about becoming the definitive answer, in those featured snippets, in AI summaries, in voice search. And I love how this is phrased. It's about being selected, not just being on the list. And the risk here is huge. If you fail at SEO, your content might be on page 1, sure, but you won't be chosen for that top spot, that 0-click answer. To an AI, you just fade away. You pretty much disappear from the most valuable real estate there is.
Now, the third leak, AIO, is a little different. This one's internal. It's not about what you publish, but how you're creating it. Are you actually using AI to work smarter, to scale your content, to stop doing everything the hard way? And this really shows the 2 paths you can take. Without AIO, you're on the fast track to burnout, buried under all these manual tasks. But with it, you unlock real, sustainable growth. You can actually produce the amount of quality content you need to compete without completely hitting a wall. And finally, our 4th leak is SXO, or Search Experience Optimization. This is all about what happens after someone clicks your link. Is your site fast? Is it a nightmare on a phone? Does it actually help the user do what they came to do? And this is that classic leaky bucket problem, right? You could be a genius at the other 3 pillars, driving tons of traffic, but if your website experience is terrible, those potential customers just pour right out. All that hard work just goes down the drain. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in the wild? Let's check out 2 real-world examples, a direct-to-consumer brand and a SaaS startup. Okay, now look at this table. It's really fascinating because you see that it doesn't matter if you're selling sneakers or software, you're dealing with the same basic problems. The DTC brand has a slow checkout, the SaaS startup has annoying long forms. Boom, that's an SXO failure for both. Both are lacking the deep content needed for GEO. It just goes to show these leaks are absolutely universal. So we've diagnosed the problems, we've seen them in action. Now for the important part, how do we actually fix this? How do we start plugging these leaks and build a strategy that's actually going to work in the real world? The key thing to get here is that when you fix these leaks, they don't just work on their own. They create this powerful loop, kind of like interlocking gears. ASO and GEO get you seen and cited. AIO helps you create the content to fuel that. And then SXO makes sure that all that traffic actually turns into customers. They all have to turn together. So really, this presents you with a choice. You can stay on the hamster wheel of just creating more content and hoping for the best, or you can adopt this smarter strategy, the one where you're focused on being selected, cited, scaled, and actually getting that final valuable click. And that brings us to a pretty uncomfortable reality check. This isn't some framework for the future. It's happening right now. If you're seeing your competitors show up in AI answers, well, it's because they're already playing this game. The shift has already happened. So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Your next big win is not going to come from publishing just one more blog post. It's going to come from taking a step back, grabbing a wrench,
and fixing the broken foundation that's causing the biggest leak.
So this explainer gives you the diagnostic tool: AEO, GEO, AIO, and SXO. The final question really is for you. Take a hard look at your own strategy. Where are you losing pressure? Which leak are you going to fix first to start winning again?